Stugotz here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love a good gummy. Whether I'm on the golf course or winding down after a long day of carrying the show on my back, all I need is one good gummy to help me totally relax. And now, thanks to my good friends at CBDMD, getting Delta 9 THC gummies shipped directly to your door is not only possible, it's easy and affordable. How about that? Every CBDMD Delta 9 gummy is packed with 10 milligrams of THC per gummy, and let me tell you, buddy, they work. CBDMD also has Delta 9 microdose capsules that feature 1 milligram of THC, so it's easy to enjoy them whenever, wherever. And listen, I know it's easy to get confused with all the different Deltas out there, but Delta 9 THC is the same good old-fashioned THC we've all known and loved for years. To learn more about Delta 9 and everything else CBDMD has to offer, just head to cbdmd.com/Dan. Once again, that's cbdmd.com/Dan for information, education, and the best damn gummies you've ever had. Must be 21 years or older to purchase Delta 9.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
I think I'm going to start a card company.
What do you mean?
Like, people text me ideas for what they want on their card.
Yep.
Like little puns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like little designs, and I'll draw it and send it to them and charge them like $10.
Really?
Start an Etsy page.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, Tony.
So have I. How does it work?
You need to have a skill of some sort.
What would you sell on Etsy?
I don't know. I mean...
Are you like a woodsman?
Hot
Do you
takes?
Like, I think that's what Cameo's for.
I think that's Patreon.
Is it really?
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
I think Tony's right. That's what Cameo is for. But I've been thinking about starting something on Etsy. I listen, I could do Flembrandts, which are some of my famous paintings that I do. I could sell those on Etsy. I love a good Etsy page. I really do. Yeah.
I really love handmade crafts. I love it. My boyfriend's been talking for years about wanting to sell like wood things on Etsy, like coasters and cutting boards, because they're so easy to make, but you can sell them for like $100 on Etsy, like a random live edge cutting board. For some reason, incredible markup, but they're very easy to make. He has power tools and stuff.
Right.
But I don't know.
So what's with the card bit? Like, how did because you made me a nice card for my birthday.
It's a beautiful card.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Well, thank you. It's tomorrow. It's not today. And I'm looking
I know, but we don't see it tomorrow.
I understand that. Thank you.
And he likes it that way.
No, I do not. I do.
We do too.
Thank you, Jess. The feeling's mutual. I noticed here that the notes to me are very short.
Well, I didn't.
It's the big 5-0.
There's an explanation for that.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Dan gave me a love. Lewis gave me some love.
Well, this is Lewis's fault. He actually started a little look at me, Louie.
No.
thing.
Who's the first person?
No, that was very look.
No. Who's the first person?
When I was given the card,
sign?
there was only names on it. So.
Exactly. So I wrote like the main message. I said, so it's a Grateful Dead card, and I said, "Happy birthday, Stugotz. We're grateful for you." So it's a little like wordplay.
No,
and then
I
I
got
put
it.
Smetty, gave it to Chris. He put Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Gave it to Tony. He put Tony. Gave it to Lewis. He put "Love you, Lewis," and then said, "Is this a little look at me, Louie?" And I said, "Yes, it is." So then I gave it to everyone else, and so I think Bimmel might have written you a little note. But Lewis started a trend where then people had to decide, am I going to leave a little note? And in the meantime, we had already started the show, and you weren't here yet, so I was trying to race around as quickly as I could so I could put it at your seat before you got here.
Well, thank you. I took my time getting in. 95 was shut down this morning. It's been a tough week on the roadways here, but I got love from Dan. I got love from Smetty didn't put a heart, nothing.
I put a heart there, Stu.
I made the card.
I expected more, Tony, but I'll get
mine
that
is
on
unspoken.
I'll get it on my birthday.
Yeah, mine is unspoken.
A lot more. Yeah. Woody, no love. I mean,
I was under the impression that it was a sign your name on the card situation.
I understand.
My deepest of apologies.
Well, it was.
Woody and I have phone calls in which Woody will end it saying, "I love you." and I will say I love you too.
Is that true?
Yes. Yeah.
I
You
tell
guys
Stu I love him all
give
the time.
I love yous?
Do you guys do that with friends? No?
Yeah.
With friends, not with you.
Well, not with me. Well, yesterday was interesting because I bought lunch yesterday, and when it arrived, you
true.
said, love you, Stu, and everyone looked at you weird. I mean,
This was right after you handed me a hundo.
I know. And
It's
lunch.
the optics. Yeah, it's the optics of it.
By the way, any change on that? Like, I don't know.
No.
It was a couple of pizzas and a bag of food, and I gave you 100 and got nothing back.
It literally
it's my birthday.
was almost exactly $100.
No, it wasn't. 2 pizzas?
Yes, it was.
Get out of
I'll
here.
show you the receipts.
Really?
Where are the receipts?
All right, I'll show you the receipts.
Those
My
2
email.
pizzas were $100?
No, the pizzas were like 70, and then
Right.
I ordered something for myself, and that was like 20 plus tip, and then I had to tip the pizza guy, so it was
Okay.
like 100.
All right. Whitty, I gave them $100 for 2 pizzas and a bag of food. And they're telling me that the 2 pizzas and bag of food was $100, and I
You
have
don't
my
need
doubts.
to rehash the pizza ordering because that was among the most frustrating
We didn't
things
even get the
that
wings.
I'm just
I have
let- I know.
ever
I'm still
done.
fuming about what a lengthy process it was to order 2 pizzas.
No one could decide on flavors.
We got the right choices.
No,
though.
no,
did.
no, we didn't.
Yes,
There
we
is-
did.
there
Chris,
is a
what are you
rule-
talking
There was
about?
a rule of ordering
Spicy
pizza for-
pepperoni
Oh my
and a
God.
little sweet pepperoni.
So good.
And whoever ordered the sweet pepperoni, my goodness, that was amazing. Amazing.
Well, I ordered both of them, so you're welcome.
When you order pizzas for a
I'm
group,
grateful for you.
it's 1 cheese and 1 pizza and 1 pepperoni. 1 cheese, 1
No,
pepperoni.
cheese is for little
That's
kids.
what you order for a
Witty,
group.
No.
No.
Cheese is for little kids.
But you're trying to
I agree
order
with Tony.
for 8 people.
Everybody
Right.
likes pepperoni.
I know everybody likes pepperoni.
No.
I like yours.
Here is the problem. So we went
yeah.
around the room, and I
What?
told everyone to raise their hand if they wanted that specific kind of pizza. Everyone agreed on sweet pepperoni, and then I named all the other 8 types of pizza, and each pizza, only one person raised their hand. So it was completely split, a split vote. We didn't even have a single other pizza that 2 people agreed on. So I had to just make an executive decision. I read the description for the spicy pep. It sounded incredible. Oh, my.
It was good.
It was.
Yeah.
It looked so good. So I said, we're going to order 2 pepperonis, a spicy and a sweet.
Welcome to our dysfunction of an exercise. No one can agree on anything. We're a democracy, and then the wrong thing gets ordered. And Stugotz is calling
the right-
Tony's
It was the right thing, yeah.
What do you mean?
body parts a pepperoni.
Yeah, we just decided to
happened
skate
there?
by that one.
Yeah.
I
So
just
you guys
don't like when you're ordering for
Right.
multiple people. It can't be, oh, I want this. Oh, I want this. Pizza's a communal food. If everyone agrees on pepperoni, then just order 2 pepperonis. You can't get into like the
Boring.
barbecue chicken.
Can't get 2 of the same
spicy
pizza.
pepperoni.
hey,
Like,
hey,
once you get
hey.
into things that only one person is here for, that can't be the decision that gets made unless we're ordering individual lunches for each person. You pick for the group.
I tend to agree with Woody here. Like when you're ordering, you got to stick to the basics. Like 1 plain, 1 pepperoni, and perhaps throw in like a meatball. That's it. Just to satisfy everyone.
A meatball on pizza?
No, a
Sausage
meatball
would be the-
pizza,
would go
like a
there.
meat pizza, sausage, exactly, meatball, something like that.
Can you
know?
do me a favor? Can you show the card to the camera? Just because, like, if I do start my Etsy
Yeah.
page, I think this would be a really good
Yes.
ad for it. Yeah, so I had to, like,
That's
Yeah.
excellent. Did you draw that?
It's fantastic.
I did.
The
This
logo?
is
Yeah.
a bespoke birthday card for Stugotz.
Show the dancing bears inside.
For the record, as Stugotz complains about us doing this insufficiently on what I did not know was his 50th birthday. I was not
The
aware
big 5-0.
until he had just mentioned that. And Jessica, not surprisingly, was the most thoughtful among us because she's a baker and none of us know how to make things. She brought in cookies and she handled the card as well. To be fair, though, as we get Stugotz the highest greeting that this show has on a happy birthday as a gift, Jessica did, while I was in the middle of that MMA segment, come in here and have me sign it while I was talking. So if it's not the most heartfelt of messages, it's
No.
because I was in the middle of the segment. If you heard something disjointed during the MMA segment, it's because before Stugotz had arrived here, Jessica came in while I was talking and made me sign his birthday wish.
Okay, but if it
I was
weren't
disjointed
for
as well
me-
because I was distracted by you being distracted by
Right.
signing
I
a
know
birthday
Whitty
card
filled
on the
really
middle
well.
of the shore. Yeah,
I was like really impressed
Complete
how well he was
filibuster.
filling.
It was a strange time
no,
for you
no.
to choose, but it's because Stugotz wasn't here and we had not done it.
And if I
Right.
weren't even here, there would be no card. There would
That's
be no
correct.
cookie. So you can't
Exactly.
blame me for maybe accidentally being late on the morning. I was supposed to actually get here early to have everyone sign it, but luckily Stugotz was more late than me. This is why I'm Stugotz and he's Stugotz.
I was more late than you.
I can blame you for being late, and I can blame you for coming in while I was talking during a segment and having me sign his card. Those are decisions that you made that I have no control over.
I liked your note, Dan. I was saying before you walk back in, you're one of two people who said I love you, and so I love you too. If you want to take a second crack at it, feel free. We can try. Write something longer.
The surprise of the gesture is gone.
I don't want you to write it here. I want a handwritten note from you.
You could have just gotten him your own card, but you didn't even know it was his birthday. I was the only one who even knew it was his freaking birthday.
A scroll like from the ancient times.
It's a big one, man.
It is a big one. I was not aware. Give him the highest honor that we have around here. I was not aware that it was your 50th birthday. If I had been aware,
it's tomorrow.
I'm a little bit
ashamed. Let me enjoy my 40s for one more day.
Hey.
We didn't do better than Jessica's very thoughtful gift, because we were all thinking about you on what is a big day.
Happy birthday to him. I don't care. Good luck.
Chris Cody did actually have a few really good ideas for how to surprise you on your 50th birthday. Then he went out of town, so there was zero follow-up.
That's how he
on
does
those.
it. I taught him well.
Idea guy.
One of the ideas was a fantastic
Hereditary.
idea, which I honestly hesitate to repeat because I think we could use it for next year, but I'll say it because I think you'll forget.
Right.
His idea was to bake a cake full of lies.
Oh, that's funny.
And so
that's
we were
funny.
brainstorming, how do we do that? Is the cake... Is it a cake? You know, like, is it a fake looking thing that ends up being a cake?
A fake cake. I like that.
Or is it like we're swapping ingredients, so you cut the cake and you eat it and you're like, this is made of sand? Like, is it that kind of lie where the lie is that it's a cake, but it's not a cake?
Cardboard.
And then I think the best idea was to create like a cylindrical cardboard structure, and then I could ice it and write happy birthday on it, and then you could go to cut it, and it's cardboard, and it'd be a cake full of lies, because it's not even a cake, it's cardboard.
Can I feel the love? I mean,
so much effort. It was not worth it.
Elton John over here.
A fake cake or a take cake? Something that you...
Take cake.
Take cake.
Who needs Chris Cody?
Save that for 51.
I love Chris Cody having the idea, not executing it, going on vacation, it getting forgotten about, me signing something during a segment. A heartfelt happy birthday from the show, organized and planned. It's a big one.
I spent a couple hours on the cookies and the cards, so I'm excluded from this narrative.
Yeah, well,
you guys all dropped the ball.
Okay.
I'm the only one who did anything.
Listen.
But no love. I didn't get love from you. It was weird.
Jessica, I need to...
You said I love
me
you
another
yesterday.
$100.
You said it to me. You said it out loud. $100.
I need to correct you on this, because you are absolutely, without question, it cannot be disputed, less to blame and more thoughtful than all of us. This does not make you blameless or thoughtful.
Stugotz here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love a good gummy. Whether I'm on the golf course or winding down after a long day of carrying the show on my back, all I need is one good gummy to help me totally relax. And now, thanks to my good friends at CBDMD, getting Delta 9 THC gummies shipped directly to your door is not only possible, it's easy and affordable. How about that? Every CBDMD Delta 9 gummy is packed with 10 milligrams of THC per gummy, and let me tell you, buddy, they work. CBDMD also has Delta 9 microdose capsules that feature 1 milligram of THC, so it's easy to enjoy them whenever, wherever. And listen, I know it's easy to get confused with all the different Deltas out there, but Delta 9 THC is the same good old-fashioned THC we've all known and loved for years. To learn more about Delta 9 and everything else CBDMD has to offer, just head to cbdmd.com/Dan. Once again, that's cbdmd.com/Dan for information, education, and the best damn gummies you've ever had. Must be 21 years or older to purchase Delta 9.
When you shop at Walmart, you get it. Spend a little less on dorm must-haves.
8 a.m. class, 8 ounces of caffeine.
A room that finally feels just like home.
And create a space that's a little more you. With bedding from $5 and appliances from $9. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Dan Le Batard.
You need to listen to Kushlash.
What is that?
Stugotz.
Kushlash. 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 Kushlash.
Wow.
That cleared things up.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
We're presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use code DAN for a special offer when you sign up. That's code DAN only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
I think this comment is in reference to us talking about Rolling Loud in Miami earlier this week. I don't know when else we were talking about music and about going to festivals, because I'd like the next incarnation of this show to do things that are fun that aren't just sports related. But somebody writes in, don't understand why you're thinking about music again. Maybe you just hate me and want me to go to the Dan Patrick Show, or heaven forbid, that cowlick guy. So if your broadcasts are not as good as they used to be, why aren't you trying to make better shows instead of music? If I want music, I'll turn on the radio.
He's that guy.
You, sir, as someone who's still turning on the radio to get his music.
Love that guy.
Or her music.
I believe this is not us talking about Rolling Loud. This is us promoting our musical.
The Big Game.
The Big Game.
Yeah.
Now available on Apple Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your music, as we are trying to solicit a Grammy nomination.
Not the radio, though.
Not the radio.
This person thinks that we shouldn't have made a musical, that we should do the Dan Patrick Show or the Cowlick Guy Show?
DP.
That's right. No use for music.
The lick.
Don't make any more music, guys. You've made that one thing. Stop making music. Okay, very good.
We getting paid for that ever? I mean, what's happening?
We aren't. Somebody is.
All right.
I'm not sure how much anybody got paid for that. I saw that poor guy working, JT Daly, working in the cold amid boxes for hours and hours, and I believe he should get whatever money there is to be gotten there.
I think we actually paid for that.
But it's our voices that made the musical and our personalities.
Yeah. So JT got paid. Well, I mean, he deserves to be paid, but so
I
do you.
believe a relatively nominal amount relative to what he normally makes working on music projects.
It wasn't very much. He made a musical for not very much as a favor to the spirit of making things for the sake of making
a discount.
He did take a discount.
You notice what I did there when I said so do you, right? Like I wanted to lump you in with us, so perhaps you could maybe go speak to someone and say, "Hey, are we getting paid for this?" I mean, you deserve to be paid. You were the best part.
I think that you are angling for you to get an 80-20 cut your way on that atrocity that you did with the Jet song in a musical that was meant to illustrate that producers now in music can make anyone sound good. I believe the whole reason for them making it is watch this.
I agree. I think you should get paid less the more auto-tune that your voice needed, perhaps.
Jessica did have the best voice, so
she was good.
She's angling for 80-20 her
Jessica
way.
did not have the best voice. Did you hear the voice of Billy Gill? It was angelic.
Yeah. And Greg Cody. Very good, Greg Cody. Shocking. Yeah.
Roy, underrated, underutilized. I did not realize, though, that we were still hitting people over the head with that musical in a way that would make this person turn to their radio instead of our show to get their music.
Do you know that record companies want to start charging radio stations to play music? It used to be like a quid pro quo. You help us get up the charts and you don't have to pay for our music. But now, because social media is responsible for driving music up the charts, particularly TikTok and Instagram Reels, now record companies are starting to think about maybe charging radio stations to play their music because it's such a less valuable form of playing music.
I don't know how the audience absorbs some of what it is I'm about to say, but the democratization of all of the content, game, brand management, intellectual property, the stuff that makes Desus and Mero go from, hey, we're funny guys on the internet, to we've got our own thing shortcut, we've got chemistry TV, now we're broken up, fast forwarding all of it. To me, people realizing that they have power over their brand, whether it's Tom Brady realizing it, whether it's LeBron James teaching it, has totally changed the art game. All of the art games where people on TikTok realize, hold on a second, You're telling me, or like Bo Burnham, you're telling me that I can sit down without a media conglomerate and sit in a room for a year during a pandemic looking into a camera, and if it's good enough, the people will decide?
Yeah. I mean, times have changed. Exciting time, seriously.
If you're good at stuff and you're musically inclined and don't mind competition and can keep up with the young people, what's happening now is everyone's at the trough. What's happened in the podcast game, Stugotz, is all the athletes notice. Wait a minute. McAfee did what? As a punter.
Right.
With microphones. Then all of a sudden it's Tyreek Hill, buy me a microphone. It's everybody. It's all of them realizing, hold on, McAfee was a punter and made this much. And now McAfee makes that much when he was great as a punter, but he wasn't me as an athlete.
Correct. But he's a big-time media personality. Like, Dan, like Draymond Green started, a number of athletes have started podcasts, but...
Point Forward from Andre Iguodala and Evan Turner available in the Le Batard and Friends network feed.
Absolutely, but Pat McAfee is very good at this. Like, just to assume that people are going to listen because you have a big name, no, you have to entertain, and McAfee is very good at entertaining. You know?
You say, Stugotz, that you have to entertain. There are a number of different ways to do this. McAfee is doing it one way, but Ryan Clark has the endorsement of a network and is now running around with resources, flying to wherever Kevin Hart is because he wants to bring Fred Taylor and Channing Crowder with him to do the thing that Brandon Marshall was doing. Like, this is going to happen fast.
Sure, yeah.
The competition is going to build fast. Who's got the resources? Because they're going to fight in this space for the dollars the same way they fight for the other dollars in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
And all of it is getting democratized. All art. Do you own your art? Do you own your intellectual property? Do you own your name? Do you own the things that you can sell to others? And music has changed. Like, I'm not surprised at all that music would have to go the way of Netflix. Where, like, keep up. We're not giving you away the stuff. You don't get to keep your lead for free. Once Disney and Google and Amazon and Apple all realize, wait a minute, Netflix is doing what? Look how quickly they closed a gap that I didn't think was going to get closed as Netflix came for television. And now the money comes for all the other money because I'm stunned to see the number of new oil wells that have sprung up around, say, the NFL, where streaming now dollars allows them to multiply all the money that they were making because there's yet more competition for what it is that they're selling. And the exclusivity is such that the NFL, Stugotz, is even like, wait a minute. Okay, we're going to have to do NFL Plus, too, because everyone needs to put a plus.
That is the funniest shit. So they created a television package for Thursday Night Football. Sunday afternoon in the AFC, Sunday afternoon in the NFC, Sunday Night Football,
right.
Monday Night Football, the NFL Red Zone channel, the NFL Network, Sunday Ticket, which is going to sell for $2 billion. And now, do you know what NFL Plus is? It's a package that already existed that Verizon had,
right.
And basically we're like, we didn't really make enough money on this because they bought exclusive rights to, if you had a Verizon phone, you can stream the games on whatever Verizon platform. But that didn't really work, so they just took those rights and are putting it now on a streaming service for $5 a month. Do you know that, like, if you have CBS, you can just authenticate on Paramount Plus, and you can watch the games that you can pay $5 for. If you have the Fox Sports app, you can authenticate and watch the games that you can also pay $5 for. If you have a broadcast antenna, you don't need this NFL Plus service.
Enough for the antenna.
It's so wild to me that they have created 9 or 10 television packages out of the same 16 games every week.
17 games now and more in the future because they will have more games to sell. This leads me to something I've been wanting to talk about for a couple of days. There was a great photograph, and we've been talking around here about the wheres and hows of seeing excellence in sports. Clayton Kershaw, Steph Curry, LeBron James. Epic, echoing, historic greatness. Athletes that will be remembered 100 years from now.
Kershaw?
Yes, Kershaw.
100 years from now? Okay.
He's one of the best
You say
pitchers
so.
ever. Okay, and there's always someone like you there to say he's not quite as good as you think he is. He's not the first best. He's the 7th best or the 12th best. I love that Nick Wright put together a list the other day of top 50 NBA players ever and put Michael Jordan 3rd because f*** you. Because that's the way to make that list in order to make it a little different than the one that Stugotz would make, where, of course, you put Michael Jordan number 1.
And 2 and 3
Yes.
and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10.
Yes, there's not a lot of room to evolve for you in that window.
Right.
And there's not a lot of room for Nick Wright to evolve in the window of how much can I blaspheme against him? I'll put him 3rd. I'm the most controversial person in sports.
I dare someone to put him 4th.
No one will dare go that far. No one. That's it.
He just dared you.
He just went 3rd. No one will go 4th. No one on the internet will go 4th.
I'm kind of sat here wondering, because he's a LeBron guy, so I imagine LeBron's number 1. Who's number 2?
Kareem would be number 2.
Kareem?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, but he's just being controversial, regardless.
You read the list, huh?
Preposterous.
And it's not that controversial.
Right.
Kareem's pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe Kobe. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Kobe, come on.
Yeah.
The thing that I saw, though, about recognizing greatness as we talk about sports and art and this cruel age we now live in, where you will simply not allowed, you won't be allowed to be only beloved. There will be somebody there at every point to question how good you are, whether you're overrated, whether your art stinks or is good. And in comedy, on a stage in New York, Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle were all there. And they brought a goat. And Kevin Hart brought the goat over to Chris Rock. And my thought was, wrong guy.
Wow.
And no offense to Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock is great. But Chappelle is the best I've ever seen. And he's the best of those 3. And the reason he's the best, beyond everything that's going on right now, it's not just his story, although his story is amazing to me because he realized brand management before a lot of other people and arrived at uncancelable because he took control of his own brand, told Comedy Central to bleep off, went to Africa, came back, and now you're not going to be able to get him unless he commits an actual crime. Like, you're not going to be able to end him. He's got too much power. That's one part of the story that's fascinating. But I watched him go up and wing his Jon Stewart, Mark Twain speech. Jon Stewart was given the Lifetime Achievement Award. That's a room full of pressure. John Oliver, Steve Carell, Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, all of them paled with written material and performance to Chappelle winging it without a hiccup, just gets up there and talks. And I've never seen anybody be able to do that before in comedy without a hiccup. There's not an unclean word in there, and he's telling you he's winging. And I'm sure he's got a skeleton for his thoughts, but he doesn't need to try that hard because he's that gifted. I remember Chris Rock on Saturday Night Live. It was obvious he was reading the cue cards. He was a terrible actor throughout. He needs he and Seinfeld marveled that Cosby could just get up there and wing it, and Chappelle does that now, and better than Cosby did.
Was Chappelle upset about the goat? Like, was he?
No, he was opening for them. He was opening for
Right.
everybody. But I think, put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Who is the GOAT among Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle?
I heard you almost say Kevin Clark twice there. I think we should put him in the poll.
Put him in
You
there
should,
as well.
yes.
Put Kevin Hart, Kevin Clark. I mean, I did almost say it twice. Chris Rock.
Right. It's confusing. I understand. Like, let's get it right here. Kevin Clark, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle,
or Chris Rock.
Eddie Murphy is the best, though.
But
right?
among the people who were on stage and Kevin Clark,
right,
who is the GOAT? I know people around here are tired of hearing me talk about Chappelle, but I am, as I watch what's happening everywhere in America, around art, as I see the protectors of comedy get defensive and scared about not being able to do comedy the way they have, there's a guy still doing it who seems totally unafraid.
Yeah.
Totally unafraid because he's got the confidence and the skill in what he is doing, where he says this thing that people are calling correctly transphobic, as he tries to argue that it's a defense of art, a defense of comedy, and a defense of, no, you will not get in line before black people on equality. And this is where I'm going to draw the line. On a target that is vulnerable and commits suicide at a higher rate than the rest of us and is subject to hate crimes more often than the rest of us. This is the hill that he wishes to challenge as art and many people to object to. He's got the arrogance in the face of all of that to tell Netflix, to bully Netflix into giving me, just requesting it and getting it, give me back the name of the Chappelle Show or pay me for it. You don't own my name. He's got the power to stand in front of people without the fear of being canceled and the arrogance of believing that the closer is his best work, that it's unassailable, that it's he believes it's a masterpiece as Netflix employees walk out and the head of Netflix ends up siding with what he says is free speech, but is really the ability to pay Chappelle, who's uncancelable, to keep making Netflix specials because he's a draw and you can't take him out. I don't think the Louis C.K. stuff takes Chappelle out. It took Louis C.K. out, but I think Chappelle can survive anything except an actual crime that puts him in jail. Not accusations, a crime that puts him in jail.
Now, we don't know because we don't have the counterfactual of him actually having done something during Me Too, but I imagine some flames would have gone up on him, just as they have with this transphobic thing. I do sort of wonder, because you mentioned how he has like the confidence in the FU to keep going. I do think he continually feels like he has to explain. The second special was a defense of the first special, because I think that he felt the flames from the first special. He was trying to talk his way around it, but that to me doesn't sound like someone who is 100% confident in everything that's come for him. It sounds like someone who's trying to talk his way out of whatever trouble he caused himself and then double down, and then like there's all these different ways in which he's just trying to talk his way out of it. And so I don't necessarily think that this is someone who is completely 100% certain that he's going to be on the right side of history, which I 100% do not think he will be on the right side of history on this particular issue.
I think what he's certain of is that he's going to do it his way, hard stop.
Yeah.
And that your flames will come for him and he's going to get the last word. And you may say there's arrogance and ego in that. Of course there is. And you may say that he is wrong in trying to get the last word. Let it go. Don't do that. Like, just move on. You've said what you have to say. You don't have the last word. But when you've had Chappelle's path and you were in a room and Comedy Central was telling you, hey, we're not laughing with black people. We're laughing at black people. And he says, don't want your 50 million. I'm leaving now, which a lot of comedians would like the safety of 50 million. Nope, don't like the feeling of this feels like sellout. I'm not going to sell out, and to return and do it. He takes that story with him every time he's on stage and
gets old though, right? I mean, every time he tells the same story.
No, I'm not saying he's telling that story. I'm saying that the story, that the journey, every time he's on stage, I know who's on stage there. And what gets forgetful in the common age, in the age we're in right now, is we are real quick to dismiss, well, who the hell is he? Who does he think he is? And Dave Chappelle says, nah, I'm Dave Chappelle. Like, I'm not someone that you can come and just cancel because you think the flavor of the moment is extra sensitive and I have to abide by your rules on where sensitivity is. I'm going to abide by mine, and he's going to file it under the rationalization of protecting art and protecting comedy when he might just be protecting his ego. What I'm telling you is that ego is earned. It is an ego that for 30 years, that dude has earned. And if he's not the most confident, Whittingham, he's the most confident playing in that game. And other comedians know it, because in that game, comedians are insecure. There's a great deal of insecurity that is wrapped inside tightly of all that laughter.
Since you like Chappelle, excuse me, $5. Since you like Chappelle and I love the Dead and Company, this is going to sound strange to you, but I think our worlds are going to collide, and I'm interested, perhaps a double date here, okay? Dave Chappelle, Bob Weir, John Mayer, and you want to go to concerts, doing a benefit concert out in Montana. Me, you, my 50th birthday, you pay? I mean, how about that? You want to go? I mean,
I don't understand what you're doing. What does Chappelle have to do with the Grateful Dead?
River for the Rise, Dan. They're saving rivers in Montana, and Mayor and Chappelle are very good friends. They're doing a show together, but so are Mayor and Bob Weir, and then Mayor, Bob Weir, and Chappelle are all doing a show together. You in? I just threw up.
In your mouth?
Yeah, but are you in? It's called the Pine Creek Lodge, me and you, Montana. It's very nice. We save a river. You watch Chappelle. I watch Bob and John Mayer. Little dead show, little comedy show. They're getting together to do something on Sunday. It's a 3-day event. It's in Montana. This is where you want to be. You want to do music events. You want to do concerts. And Chappelle is going to be there as well.
Why
how about that?
Why are you?
And I'll bring that same story. I mean, yeah, little acid. I mean, LSD.
Did you just say yeah to Tony because he said a little acid in your ear?
I did, yes. Yeah, I did. I'm like Greg Cody now. I'm 50. Are you in? Dan, Bob Weir, Dave Chappelle, John Mayer.
You did the first time.
And Montana.
Bob Weir's facial hair is unbelievable. It is the best facial hair of any man I have ever seen in my life.
It's fantastic.
It's so... the mustache and the beard are incredible.
You seem confused by why they're doing a show together.
I thought you were inventing it. First of all,
I'm being dead serious.
I was
going to ask you, seriously, I was going to call you last night and ask you as a friend, like, hey, let's take a friendly trip together. We've never done that. Separate from the show, just me and you, little PJ, private jet. We go to Directy to Montana, and the two of us just enjoy a weekend together by the river. I mean, how about that?
You say you're dead serious.
I'm going to say no.
No, I'm not going to say no. I am dead serious about what I am going to say, though.
What's that?
I was surprised in you presenting it that these people were working together to do something. So I thought it was an invention that you were saying, let's get those people together and save a river.
No.
And I thought to myself, that's probably not what we're going to be able to do. But then you informed me that those people will be indeed there, which brings me to the part I'm dead serious about, which is I have more confidence that those people will be there than that you will show up. That something will happen as the private jet is taking off and we're paying for everything.
Oh, man.
Sorry, have a lacrosse mitzvah. Got to be in Chicago. I'm in the Congo. I can't make it for Wednesday's show. Can I do it on Zoom?
The Congo.
I just realized it's Hall of Fame weekend, and I might have to be there with Baselli. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Are we going to get a close on this week? I am understanding that you are going to talk
go on a date with you.
You are going to talk to Baselli, and we're going to find out. When is this? This is a week from this weekend. Do you think you're going to be able to actually get in the friends and family section with Tony Baselli? Are we going to get a close to this loop before the end of the week?
We're going to have him on tomorrow. I'm going to try to finagle my way into the friends and family section, perhaps the parade. I'd like to be mentioned in the speech. I'm going to do everything I can to get as much as I can, and then I'll see if I go based on what it is that Tony Baselli offers me. I mean,
well, where are we with
it's
this?
Absurd. What am I doing?
You don't have any leverage whatsoever.
Well, we're friends, and I helped him get into the Hall of Fame. We go in together, Dan. That's what me and Baselli do. If I asked Baselli to go to this concert with Chappelle, Mayer, and Weir, he would be in a heartbeat, okay? That's what kind of friends we are. And so I'd like to think that I'm going to be on the friends and family list, perhaps an invitation to the pre-party. I mean, but we'll see. I'm going to ask for as much as I can get, and but he is coming out tomorrow. He is furious with you. He is furious with you. He's not happy, and he's serious. Like, he likes you, and he respects you, but he's upset about the things you're saying, not only about Tony Baselli, but about the Jacksonville Jaguars in general. He loves that team. He loves that city. He loves the organization. And some of the guys you're slighting are very good friends of his, like Fred Taylor and Jimmy Smith. I mean,
who am I slighting?
I mean, you're saying no Jaguar deserves to be in. And Tom Coughlin. I mean,
Stugotz, I have said that as a joke that you seem to have forgotten that is meant to enrage Tony Baselli as spoof humor meant to enrage Jacksonville fans who don't listen to our show and would take seriously me putting up billboards that say Tony Baselli is not a Hall of Famer, when I want to say this publicly for the record again. I believe Tony Baselli is indeed a Hall of Famer, and Stugotz is concocting me as a shield to make Tony Baselli hate him, and I am playing with him on this so he can pretend to be Tony Baselli's friend against his longtime co-host and get whatever he wants from this Hall of Fame ceremony that Stugotz in no way deserves to be a part of any part of it. I am playing a role to see how much I can get you, and you've now fallen for the lie yourself because you're in the middle of it. Yeah. You've forgotten that we're doing a show together, and you're like, he's enraged with you, Dan, because of the things you've said about Jacksonville, and you don't say parenthetically as satire and spoof because you're trying to enrage a bunch of people in Duval County who don't listen to your show and are unreasonable about being emotional about shitty Jags football that they've gotten for eternity. How have you forgotten the joke that we're playing?
I don't know.
It's just wild when you look at the records of the Jags. Last 4 seasons, won 15 games, lost 50. That's their last 4 seasons. And, like, I couldn't imagine devoting that level of emotional energy to a team that bad. Where, like, if someone wanted to have a go at me, I'm going to be fuming and I'm going to have a go. How dare you talk shit about my 15-50 football team? F*** you!
If you think that's bad, imagine being a fan of a team that lost to the Jaguars in the playoffs in the season in which they had the best team of the past decade. I'm talking, of course, about the Steelers in the divisional playoffs against the Jaguars in 2018. Right. I still cannot believe 2 of the best playoff runs where I thought this year the Steelers have it ended by the Jaguars and Tim Tebow.
Ouch. I am glad you brought that up, Jessica, because I was thinking of you a couple of times recently with the Steelers. I wanted to get your thoughts on Heinz Field no longer being Heinz Field when I associate it as Heinz Field.
Stupid.
And you have basically your entire life, you've known it as Heinz Field. But I heard some quotes the other day, and it surprised me how old Big Ben sounded in these quotes, Stugotz. We have now lived long enough for Ben Roethlisberger to be your grandfather when it comes to assessing what he's left behind. I'm going to get those quotes off my phone in a second here. Mm-hmm. Ben Roethlisberger, you made what, Jessica, of how old he sounded, and current Steelers have gotten mad at him because he sounded so old and longing. He sounded like a grandpa.
Yeah, he sounded like he was complaining about like the young guys on the team, and then Cam Hayward kind of said like, hey, I disagree with him. That's not exactly how, how things are on this team. But I also am like, I was on Twitter this morning because training camp started this week, and all the media members are in Latrobe, St. Vincent, Dan. It's that time of year, almost time for the sprinklers on Hard Knocks. Right. And I just saw
were those limited fake sprinklers?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
I saw just a wall of Ben Roethlisberger quotes from media members, and I'm like, why is Ben here? Like, what does this have to do with anything? Like, Ben's retired, he's gone, but we're still like interviewing him on the first 2 days of camp. Like, I don't know if he has any sort of position with the team or they're just trotting him out for media access. I don't really know, because he hasn't necessarily said very positive things about his exit from the Steelers, and he thought it was premature. And it's like, dude, it was definitely not. It was definitely time.
It was 2 years overdue.
It was time 2 years ago, but it was definitely time this time. And it's like, why are we still interviewing him like on the first day of training camp? Like, I want to hear from some of the younger players.
You always go back to the former quarterback.
From the draft picks.
You do. I think they're still going to Favre in Green Bay.
I agree. Yeah. I just think it's kind of like we've heard these storylines. Like, nothing that he's going to say is that interesting to me, and it's just kind of we're like recycling things that we've heard already, and that his opinion on things aren't necessarily going to shape the reality of the future of this team anymore because he's not on it.
It's funny that you say all of that for a couple of different reasons. One of them is this kind of interview is the only one Roethlisberger can do that anybody would actually aggregate. If he were to just pick up his phone and be like, yeah, excited about the season, can't wait to watch them, it wouldn't become all of this. But the other part of this, and I've been talking to you guys as the landscape has changed, the broadcasting money has changed, and the NFL, as it sees all the money coming in, is saying, hey, we're going to build the bridge to tomorrow's fans with all of the white quarterbacks, all of the old white quarterbacks that you're familiar with. We're going to shift them all around, and we're going to put them in positions. Ben Roethlisberger is the thing, him and Tomlin, that you've associated with that team for 15 years. That team's excellence at that position, that guy has been the face and the voice. And you're going to go to him again and again because he represents the past, and he's going to think that his words always matter and that he's that kind of relevant, because every time he gets in front of a microphone for the last 15 years, he's had to be careful about what he says. He might miss portions of football, and these are the quotes he's giving you when he says that he doesn't like what he perceived as a shift from a team-first attitude among NFL players when he began his career to players being more focused on themselves. Quote, I feel like the game has changed. I feel like the people have changed in a sense. Maybe it's because I got spoiled when I came in. The team was so important. It was all about the team. Now it's about me and this and that and the other. I might be standing on a soapbox a little bit, but that's my biggest takeaway from when I started to the end. It turned from a team first to a me type attitude. It was hard. It's hard for these young guys too. Social media, they're treated so well in college. Now this new NIL stuff, which is unbelievable. They're treated so special. They're coddled at a young age because college coaches need them to win too.
Coddled is a big buzzword these days. Anyone who's talking about coddling, I immediately am like, oh, red flag. People are only using the word coddle to talk about younger generations in a derogatory way. No one's saying like, I coddled my puppy because they were cold in the harsh winter winds of upstate New York. No, we're only talking about coddling with like younger people who we think have it so easy these days.
Coddling sounds wonderful. I feel like coddling's getting a bad rap.
I would love to be coddled by someone.
As a negative word. I don't think many people feel like they are being coddled when they're being coddled, though. I don't think a lot of people listening to this would cop to being coddled. I think everybody would object to that as a negative. What do you mean? I work hard, and the Steelers are objecting to that. But what do you make of the words? What do you make of someone who's not yet 40, who we all saw was done, washed, but doesn't think he was washed, and is blaming everybody but himself? Hey, it's not because you drank beer all those years and weren't actually in the shape Tom Brady was in.
My kind of guy.
It's everybody else's fault as to why he could only throw the ball 3 yards at a time with his noodle arm that he didn't take care of the last 3 seasons.
I think as a player, Ben Roethlisberger really doesn't have anything he needs to prove to anyone. Like, he was incredibly successful. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He won 2 Super Bowls, took the team to 3. He was never on a losing team. Like, he doesn't have anything left to prove. He doesn't need to have hard feelings because of the way it ended, because it did end on a stinker. He didn't play very well the last 2 seasons. He had to get his entire elbow reconstructed. Like, he should, I don't know.
But Jess, it was embarrassing. Like, he became a punchline in his
right,
final. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Probably feels bad, but like, dude, you were a really good player. We don't even have to talk about all of the off the field reasons why it would make sense for media and players to shun you after your retirement, because now we don't really have to talk about you anymore and tell you how great you are. But we don't have to even get into that, because like, he, as a player, he succeeded incredibly in a town that cares about its football team more than almost anything else. Like, I know it's hard to have these breakups, but like, we should all just kind of move on now. Like, let's move on.
It's nice
forward.
of you to say that he doesn't want to be forgotten. There's only one way for that interview to go wrong. It's the way he handled it in an age where Davante Adams has now had to do 3 different walkbacks on defending that Derek Carr is a Hall of Famer, even though he just got caught up in the air in the middle of a cliche and decided to make Derek Carr a Hall of Famer when he didn't intend to make Derek Carr a Hall of Famer. Now he's doubling down on Derek Carr is a Hall of Famer. I've transitioned from Hall of Famer to what he wanted to say is guy who's not a Hall of Famer, and then realized what team he was on.
I really enjoyed. You mentioned the other day that seeing that picture of Aaron Rodgers dressed as Nick Cage from Con Air made you like him a little bit more again. I was annoyed that I did, but I enjoyed his quote saying in moving from Devontae Adams to his new receiving core, moving from one Hall of Famer in Devontae Adams to another in Allen being Allen Lazard.
All the good things being said about Big Ben are great, but you know that he's going to go to the Colts if Matt Ryan gets hurt in like week 7, right?
No doubt. Yep.
The first call Jim Irsay is going to make. Where's Ben
Somebody's
Roethlisberger?
going to make that call, and he's going to be tempted to put down his beer and waddle out there and say, you know what, I can give somebody 3.5 yards on an out or a quick slant.
Why is it always the Colts?
It has to be the Colts. The quarterback always gets hurt. Are we done calling Phillip Rivers? Or
No, he's
still
a
gets
second
a
in
call?
line.
Yeah.
He's second in line.
Really?
Yeah.
He's second now.
Wait till Mayfield gets hurt, and all of a sudden Matt Rule needs to save his
Well, they
job.
have Darnold
with another Cam Newton situation. They have Darnold, which is precisely why I say wait until Baker Mayfield gets hurt.
They have Matt Corral. I mean,
what is the job that lures Ben out of retirement? Because somebody's going to make the call, and he's going to show these kids.
The Colts will do it.
They've been coddled.
It has to be the Colts. Like, they are so built perfectly for Big Ben. They got a running back. They got an offensive line. He throws the ball a couple runs. We're out of here.
As a fan, I just want to move forward, Dan. I want to get excited about Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. I do. Kenny Pickett was a first-round draft pick.
Trubisky, no.
I want to feel excited about, the Steelers have a new identity moving forward. They are no longer the Ben Roethlisberger team. Their GM has left, Kevin Colbert, who was the architect behind all of these amazing draft picks that they've had, whether it's Antonio Brown, finding all these kind of diamonds later on in the draft. So he's gone, Ben's gone, new identity, no Heinz Field, no ketchup bottles, which I am devastated about.
It's stupid.
The big ketchup bottle.
Absolutely devastated.
Excellent.
I do not know why Heinz couldn't have just sponsored the Red Zone, if not the entire
It's just
stadium.
an insurance company now? What are they calling it?
For sure.
It's stupid.
Which is
Bad
impossible
name.
to say with a Yinzer accent, by the way. I've asked my cousins to say it for me, and they just can't do it. It's a hard word to say with that accent. And anyways, I don't know why Heinz couldn't have just sponsored the Red Zone, because, Dan, I don't know if you know this, but when the Steelers enter the Red Zone, it's the Heinz Red Zone, and the ketchup bottles tip, and then they pour red LED lights onto the video board, and it fills up, and it says Heinz Red Zone. It's good. Pretty awesome.
Now it's just going to be like liability forms and fine print.
Insurance, that's not sexy.
You're turning witty on.
Ketchup. Ketchup is sexy.
Put it on the poll.
Condiments.
Roy, please do liability forms turn witty on.